This how-to video is how to organize your information to write a new IEP in Peer. It's difficult to pull up an old IEP with a new IEP in the Peer program, so these are some recommendations on how to successfully write a new IEP with having the information in front of you and easily available. I go through with a piece of paper. It's very simple, and I just make a list of all the overall information that I need to start off the IEP. Hey, you want to know who your information is going to be about, what their address is, the program that they're in, the minutes, and if it's with assistance with academics or small group instruction, or how those minutes look, as well as the dates for their informed consent date, as well as their eligibility determination date. The next piece I get ready for is to list all old accommodations just to keep them organized, as well as the wording for old reading goals, old math goals, or any other goals that your student might have. And there's another piece that I put right above the reading goals that I will show you next before I actually go through and write down all of these pieces down here. Before I really get into that, I do go ahead and list all of their reading and math data that I'm going to be using in the based upon section. So I look up district test scores, dates that they took them, FSA scores, any other assessments or data that you have that you are going to be including for the different sections in their PLEP statement. Then I go through and list all of their old accommodations, as well as the language for any old goals that they have had. If I include a new accommodation on the IEP, I make sure that I put a star next to it to let myself know that this is new to this new IEP that I'm writing. So when I go to do the prior written notice, that I have access right in front of me to know what is new, and I'm able to use that information with that paperwork as well too. When I go through to write the IEP, now that I'm ready to go, when I get to the part in the PLEP where I'm putting in the accommodations that are needed, I have my list here of what I'm going to include, and as I type in each one, I check it off to make sure that each and every one is included. The next section in Peer that you get to where you're going to need to list accommodations is the instructional classroom instructional accommodations. So as I go through to the ones that would apply there, I put a second check mark to remind myself that those have been put in there, that those have all been used. The last place that you have accommodations in the Peer program is the assessment piece, the assessment accommodations. So that's the third check mark, and you'll see here, because not all of these are assessment accommodations for extended time for assignments or shortened assignments, that's not something that they need in assessment. So I put a little dash to know that this was not included in that section, and that also reminds me that I'm going to need to print out the page for the parents to sign that they understand that there's instructional accommodations that could be different from the assessment accommodations. I also include here at the very bottom as I go through anything that I still need to do. So I put what section in the IEP still needs to be addressed, what number within that section, and then whatever the thing is that I might need to include. So if I'm still waiting on a specific piece of teacher data, then I'll put that over here to remind myself that once my IEP is written, that I still actually have something that needs to be done within the IEP to make sure that it's complete before going to the meeting. So I hope this was helpful, but that's what I use in order to organize my thoughts to write a new IEP in Peer.